Hey guys, and welcome back to the Hobby Dude 007 channel. Carved out some time for the workbench today. I am going to try to get as much as I possibly can. Hopefully we can wrap it up. The chassis for our out-of-box Saturday Night Short Track Group Build 40 Ford Modified. I want to try to wrap that, well, the chassis anyway, and I'll be sharing with you where I am. I did run into a few things that I forgot to paint. I thought I had everything painted. And just ready to assemble, but there were a few parts. I'll share those with you here in just a minute, and we'll again try to wrap this up hopefully today. If not, we're going to be close. We'll give you a little update and show you some parts that we do have painted, as well as some things that we're going to do, and then we'll take a look at that here shortly too. So let me get to it. Bring your model to life with MCV products. Visit them on the World Wide Web at mcvproducts.com. Okay guys, so first up, a few things that we have got finished. There's our steering wheel. Got that wrapped up, just to me a semi-gloss black. Fuel cell is done. You see the little black grommet around the gas cap. And instead of going silver on those straps, I decided for the contrast that black would look really good there too. And of course the battery, which not on a real car what I would put there, but the battery will be mounted here. And that was one of those things that did not get painted. It's in primer, but that'll be right there. And the engine, oh, well, before I forget, the chassis got a couple of spots here. When I was sliding that radiator down in there, you see the little bit of a chip in the, well, not a chip, but it just scraped it kind of down to the primer there, and a little dot right there. So we'll be straight fixing that. But I'll tell you, these Tobias chassis, that's just a good looking chassis. Engine, I don't have the wash on anything other than the valve covers and the intake, as you remember. I have not mounted the intake yet, and I'll explain why a little bit later. But I do want to get a wash on the transmission and the engine block, just in a couple of spots. And then I'll have, I've got some Fram decals. I'll probably put a Fram decal on the orange oil filter. And I think this is looking pretty good. I'll tell you what, that wash down on those Mickey Thompson valve covers and on that intake doesn't look bad but it is out of box, so it doesn't have the detail that I would kind of prefer, but it's not bad. The other thing we're going to do is go ahead and dig out some decals, and we'll use some Solvaset or some Mark Fit and get some gauges decals on that. Paint the ignition light, switch, that kind of stuff, get that ready to go in. A lot of this is just, it's really not going to take much time, guys. And on the shocks, we'll get the center shaft, or the shock inside the coil over there, we'll get that painted. We're going to go silver on that. And the springs, I was thinking about going red, but I think I'm going to go black on the springs themselves. But we'll get those in the dehydrator. I'll do that here in just a second. And again, paint that battery. I'm going to go semi-gloss black on that, and then we'll pick out the little details there. The thing that I found that I did not have anything painted, and I'm like, how did I miss that? This was in the bottom of the box. And of course, these are the brackets and the steering control arm that go on the front suspension and the rear suspension, as well as the radiator hoses. So we'll get those painted, and on there is some cleanup that's going to be required on these. You see a little bit of flash around the edges here, but that's not that big a deal. I use the back of a X-Acto, scrape those off. And this little connector for the valve covers for the engine. And get those prime painted. That won't take long at all. And then the last thing is we've got this where we had to sand all that off, reshoot it. I think it looks really nice. And we'll mask that off and get our aluminum. I'm going to use silver leaf, to me a silver leaf over this, after I mask off some of that orange there and leave a little strip. But I think that's going to look good too. So let me get this stuff done a little bit at a time, and I'll bring you back and let you take a look at it. Okay, we're back. We've got the cockpit wrapped up, and that TS30 silver leaf has just enough reflectiveness, as you can see down in there, to give it a good aluminum kind of look. There is one spot on here I'm going to have to go back and redo, and that's on the bottom here where the chassis will be. You see right here, I have no clue what that is. I'm going to go back and block sand that down, hit it one more time. Just the bottom there. I think everything else turned out really good. The seat, that's a different story. I shot it. I had an old can of semi-gloss Rust-Oleum, and I have no clue what happened. I didn't even put it in the dehydrator. I put it over the Tamiya primer, and it just crazed in an awful way. And of course, as you can see, this has been in there overnight, and it's not taking it off. I have taken and scrubbed a little bit, and with the edge of the knife, and you can see it is coming off, but I'm going to have to take a brush and just kind of lightly go over that, get that off, and I'll get that repainted. That's not going to take long. But got to redo the seat. The instrument panel, went ahead and got those decals out of the decal box. Used my Micromark punch to get those the right size, got those in there, a little bit of Mark Fit, and laid those in. We've got our ignition light painted, on-off switch, and the lens over the, if you can see the gloss over the lens for the gauges, I use about 3 or 4 different things to do that. I've used clear nail polish depending on the paint back, because some of these things react with each other, and just a slight amount. Now for this one, I used the Testors, it's like canopy glue, really. It's just clear parts cement and window maker is what it's called. This works really good, and as you see, I got a good result with that. Good gloss finish over the gauges. One of my go-tos about all the time is the gloss Mod Podge. This stuff, that's a lifetime supply, guys, and you get that in most craft stores, whether it's Hobby Lobby or somebody said they even got some at, I think, Walmart. But you can get this stuff anywhere, but that's again a lifetime supply. And I've also used 5-minute epoxy, so it just depends. But I think that turned out okay, and a little sparse gauge wise. But hey, these old cars probably were like that. Went ahead and wrapped up the fuel cell. Got our decal back there, which is a little more modern, but this is my show version anyway. The battery is mounted. All that is done. I went ahead and shot the headers in titanium. I don't remember what the TS number is, but this is titanium silver. There's a titanium gold, titanium silver as a base coat, and I will be doing some heat staining to these. And I had mentioned I was thinking about going old school, going just white with these things. But I decided I think it might look better with some heat stains on it and that kind of stuff. So we're gonna do that. I'll do a wash, get it back in the dehydrator. I got a few little things here to clean up on the ends where the seams are that I didn't see even with a primer on it. Not till I got the paint on it. Don't know what that was all about, but I'll get that cleaned up. It won't be a big deal. But I think these are coming along nicely. And let's see, so I got to go ahead and get this this out. I'm going ahead and test fit all of this stuff too. I think that's going to look really, really good. Yeah, there we go. So that cockpit, and then it'll be dropped in. The only thing I've got to do that I'd mentioned opening is to clean up, touch up the little spots on the chassis here with our paint where we scraped that, putting that radiator in. And I'll take a light brush and just touch that here in just a second. Get that drying and get this paint stripped on this. The other thing I did was went with all of those bars that did not get painted, the radius rods, front and rear radius rods, did those in gloss black. The radiator hoses and the hose between the valve covers, that's all in semi-gloss. And I cleaned up, I had some trash in the top of the air cleaner, and so I cleaned that up and shot it again in fresh chrome. And as I was reaching to get totally something else, my finger actually touched the wet chrome, and you see the spot there. And I have already stripped this back down and sanded it and got it smooth again. And I'm going to re-chrome this. And instead of using the Revell chrome this time, I'm going to try something that came in the mail yesterday, and that is the airbrush version of this Fusion Firm chrome. And this is brand new. I'll be doing a little bit of a heads up on that in a video. But this is really good. Everything I've seen on this, it dries faster than a Revell, and it's the same type finish. So we're going to give it a shot and see. But I'm going to go ahead and strip this down, get it reprimed, and get it ready again. But we'll see how that goes. All right, guys, I'm going to get back to this, and we'll be back shortly. All right, guys, we're back. Got a lot done. Here's a look at that oil filter, the Fram oil filter. That decal came from a Slicks Goodie sheet. And moving to the interior, you see we got the seat finally painted in Tamiya semi-gloss. I added the decals from a Gopher seat for the seat belts. And I think that turned out really well. We've got that mounted in the car now. And here you see the fuel cell mounted up. And we've got everything pretty much buttoned up. There's a few things on the chassis that are yet to be done, but overall the chassis is completely finished with the exception of the headers, the breather, and something in the rear I'm going to tell you about here in just a second. But let's take a look. All right, so as you see here, we got our engine in. I had mentioned earlier that I have not mounted the intake yet. It is still movable, and the reason I have not mounted that yet is once the body is on there, I want to be able to put this hood up and center up that I don't want to mount it where it looks right and then it be off-centered with the hole in the hood part there. So I'm going to wait till the end to do that, and you can see where I put my pin there. Hopefully you can see where I put the pin for the radiator hose, and we'll get that in there. I did test fit the body, all the tires, everything. There's nothing rubbing. Everything looks really good. The suspension turned out really good. We did the silver on the shafts and we did the black on the springs. Same thing for the rear. Everything lined up really good, and it sat really, really level. Back it up here just a little bit. Get one of these lights down here where it'll shorten it a little bit. That Revell chrome on the wheels, I think that turned out really good. I am going to add a wash to the steering rod, kind of tone it down a little bit. It's a little more silver than I'd like. There's that interior again. Let me turn that around here. The headers are in the dehydrator. I've got one more thing I want to add as far as the heat stains go before I install those. Then we'll mark the body, and pretty much the body's the only thing that's left. But I want to go ahead and get those headers in here next. In the next video, you'll see those probably on the car. That rear end down there. The suspension lined up really good. All four wheels sat right on beautifully. Fuel cell. Now this back bumper, as you recall on the box art, let me grab it real quick, shows it as being kind of a chrome, and with that orange on the striping here, I think that's going to be a good idea. So I'm going to be masking the car off and doing that back bumper in probably the Fusion Firm chrome, and I may do it in the, I hadn't made up my mind which one I want to use yet. But, and how I'm going to mask this while it's all done is I typically use a Ziploc bag. I may show you that in the next one. Put the entire car in a Ziploc bag, cut the zip part off, and then tape it down. So the only thing exposed is the back bumper itself, which will be chrome. But overall, I really like the stance. I like the clearance on the bottom, be about right for the era. The way the tires and wheels look, I am really kind of pleased with this. There's some of the the bars in the back that you can't see behind the wheels really, really do look good. And by the way, those wheels are just mocked up on there. I haven't mounted them yet. I want to wait till the body's on there. But looks good. But as I said, on the chassis, just the radiator hoses, the breather, and the headers. That's pretty much it, and this is totally finished. And once those headers are in there, we'll figure out where right in here, I think, right in here somewhere, I'll need to arch that a little bit for those pipes to stick out since we lowered the body some. But other than that, and lining up the breather to the hole in the hood, I think this is getting really close to being done. But for out of box, I'm very pleased with this. So that's it, guys, for this go round anyway. I'll have a little Christmas thing. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve, so I'll have something up on that. But other than that, I'll tell you, for anybody that's busy tomorrow night, I hope you guys have an absolutely awesome and wonderful Christmas. Remember the reason for the season. Guys, thank you for this year, all that you've done for us, your support of the channel and helping us grow. We truly, truly appreciate it. Amanda is tickled to death, as she says, that I'm having fun doing this. So, and I appreciate her support. Well, guys, again, nothing but love for you. Appreciate you very much. God bless, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.